Thank you, Carol. Thank you, everyone. I just want to say I can't think of a better place to spend a Tuesday evening hearing these incredible stories and just being in a room with people that want to make an impact. So it touches my heart. So thank you. I'm Dennis Visser. This is Brett Bannon, and we're just grateful to be here and have the opportunity to present what the work that God is doing in our ministry. It's called Dream Center Baja. So thank you, Andy and Ron and all the Barnabas team, and thank you to all of our leadership and volunteers that are here today as well. So with the ministries that many of you already support, the information I'm going to share now, these conditions that I'm going to describe, is probably not new to you. But just across the border in San Diego, next slide, thanks. But just across the border in San Diego, and Tijuana, there's over 40,000 people living in extreme poverty in the Tijuana region. These conditions lead to approximately 1,600 abandoned and abused children being taken off the streets in Tijuana by DEEF, which is essentially the equivalent of the Child Protective Services here in the U.S. Of these children, they're held in a holding tank that they have a big facility in Tijuana until they can be identified. They can identify safe families and other family members to put them together with and to be in a safe place. But of those children, about 15% of them, there are no safe places to send them. So that's about 200 kids a year, and these abandoned children are then placed in one of 50-plus casa hogars or orphanages in Mexico. They're privately funded for the kids that just don't have a home. And so that leads us to our efforts in Mexico. So at Dream Center Baja, our mission is to see these vulnerable children in communities transformed and break the cycles of poverty and raise Christian leaders. This is why Brett told me not to use the old man slides and do something different. But God has led our ministry to focus in two key areas. So first of all, our home for abandoned children, Niños de Fe, or Children of Faith. And then the second area of our ministry is focused in the community development in the poor colonias, which are the poorest of the poor areas in Tijuana. So our home for abandoned children, Niños de Fe. So for the abandoned children in Tijuana, what exists today is essentially the structure we talked about. There's 50-plus casa hogars or orphanages where they are, generally taken good care of. But less than 20% of the children in these casa hogars are ever integrated into a healthy family environment. So 80% of the children stay in the system through high school, and then they get, and then they age out into kind of an unwelcoming environment and with limited skills, and the cycle of poverty continues. Most of these homes are not rooted in a Christian faith. And as Christians, we know that the scale of rejection and abandonment that these children have experienced can only be fully restored by finding their identity in Christ. This is the work that God is doing at Dream Center Baja. So I want to talk first about our home for abandoned children and what we do differently in the community that we serve. Many of you are parents, and as am I, and as is Brett. You'd be amazed at the resilience of these kids. I mean, what they've experienced as youth, and you'd never wish on anyone. But with love and respect and integrity, these kids are amazingly resilient. So at our children's home, at our children's home, so we own and operate our children's home in Tijuana. The home was purchased by one of our church partners, Coastline Church, so thank you, Coastline. We have 24/7 care that we provide for the kids. We have 15 children that we serve generally. It goes up and down from that number, 6 staff, and we provide private education, we provide tutoring, provide health care, psychological care for the kids on a weekly basis to restore them, and then most importantly, they live in a Christ-centered home. By providing this balance of physical and spiritual nourishment, God is moving in these children, restoring their confidence and their abilities and their identities. They learn that all things are possible in Christ Jesus. And they're again able to love and to be loved. As a result, God is healing the hearts of these children and opening the door for healthy family and future relationships. Since 2021, we've had the privilege of serving 51 children at our home at Niños de Fe. 25 of those children have been reunited with family members, and 11 adopted. So 71% of the kids have been placed in healthy and loving families, and as of today, or this week, we had 2 additional, so we're up to 75% and growing. So it's an amazing increase in seeing these kids being restored into healthy environments with a future filled with hope. Our second area of ministry is in community development in the Colonia Alomar. So Colonia Alomar is one of the many colonias, which are these poor communities that we spoke about. So what we do, we first visited Colonia Alomar because when we were serving our children's home on a Christmas, some of our church partners gave us so many Christmas gifts that we had extra, and so we went out and sought out a community, our team did, to give out these additional gifts. And in doing so, found this Colonia Alomar, and the team recognized what incredible need there is. We've implemented the only strategy, when we saw the need, we implemented the only strategy that we know, and we knew, and that is just to keep coming back. Our team earned their trust and asked questions like many of you and when we would ask, and the question was, what does your community need? And this led to uncovering the needs that we look at here today. So the first area that we're able to serve is the families expressed the need for education for their kids. They wanted their kids to have a better life than they had. It makes me a little emotional. These kids, the schooling in Mexico is free. Public school is free, but you have to pay for your supplies, your backpacks, and your uniforms. And so these parents could not provide for that, or most of them could not. So now for the 7th year in a row, we're providing an education drive where we provide the kids with backpacks, uniforms, and the school supplies for the kids. We're also doing infrastructure improvements for the community so that we put concrete on the floors to cover the dirt. We've got a Wi-Fi tower that we put in during COVID so that the kids, when they're at home and not going to school, could actually do their homework, even though some of them were on their parents' cell phones trying to do their homework. Skills training for the moms that stay home. The dads are often at work. The moms are staying home, and so we provided different skills training to increase their ability to earn money for their families. And then we have a university scholarship and Christian mentoring program, so for kids that are old enough to go into university, and Brett will speak a little more on that. And then we have weekly Bible studies that have been introduced, and now a church plant that's happening through the collaboration with Ancla Church in Tijuana. Yeah. So, thank you. As a result of listening and empowering this community, excuse me, the impact has been significant. So we have 60 families, about 250 people now that are united in community. 85 children are attending public schools out of this community. That's 100% of the school-age children in that community are now going to school. 32 families participating in micro-businesses, 24 families participating in the weekly Bible studies, and we now have 5 students attending the Baja University in topics such as pre-law, computer science, and psychology, and 3 more joining us in the fall. God is moving in incredible ways to raise Christian leaders and break the cycles of poverty in this community, and there are dozens more of these communities that can be lifted up. The need is great. So with that, we wanted to share a video, both of our Niños de Fe children's home, and for the first 2 minutes, and then you'll see another 2 minutes of our efforts and what God's doing in Colonia Alomar, the community that we serve. And then Brett will share a story about transformation of 2 of our incredible kids. So we hope that you can feel the joy of these children as you watch the video and can come alongside us to expand our impact in Baja.
Cuando llegan muy asustados.
When they come, they're very scared.
Vienen de pasar cosas muy difíciles.
From going through very difficult things.
Todo tipo de abuso.
All types of abuse.
Llegan asustados,
Become scared,
nerviosos,
nervous,
ansiosos.
Anxious.
Y hay algo que nos inquieta mucho, es que siempre que llegan,
And it's something that bothers us a lot is that every time that they come,
ellos preguntan que ahora quién es la persona que los va a tratar mal,
so now, and they ask, who is the person that's going to treat us wrong,
quién me va a pegar.
that's going to hit us, that's going to mistreat us.
Sí.
Y tienen cambio físico.
And they have physical changes as well.
Llegan sucios,
They come dirty.
llegan con piojos,
They come with lice.
llegan muy abandonados.
They come
físicamente.
very abandoned physically.
Muchos llegan, la mayoría llegan enfermos.
Most of them come sick.
Gripa, neumonía hemos tenido,
Fever,
bronquitis.
pneumonia, bronchitis.
Ellos es la primera vez que tienen una cama,
It's the first time in their life that they
Que
maybe
tienen-
have had their own bed,
que pueden escoger un
that they can
vestido.
choose.
Entonces todo eso
So
les,
all that-
les devuelve la dignidad.
It returns dignity to them.
Una semana después de que un niño está aquí,
A week after a child is here,
es un niño totalmente diferente.
he's a totally different child.
El niño empieza a sentirse tranquilo,
The child begins to feel
empieza a sentirse
at
en
peace,
paz,
tranquil.
empieza a sentir que puede confiar
He begins to trust.
y empieza a darse cuenta que hay un modelo de familia
He
que
begins to
sí puede ser
understand
bueno,
that there is a model, a family model that can be good,
que puede tener una figura de un papá y de una mamá
that can
Estoy
have a figure of a mom or a dad,
¿sí? Y pueden sentirse amados de verdad.
and then they can feel love, truly love.
Todo lo que hacemos,
Everything that we do,
desde amar
from
hasta
loving
corregir,
to correction,
lo hacemos con amor.
we do it with love.
Nada es imposible si
Nothing-
logramos que ellos se entiendan o sentirse amados.
Nothing is impossible if we can accomplish that they feel love.
Y es una gran bendición.
It's a huge blessing.
O sea, lo que está pasando en esta casa con
What's
los
going on
niños
in this home with these children?
es todo lo que hacen ustedes allá.
It counts everything that you do over there.
Y nosotros nos gusta enseñarles a los niños.
And so we love to teach the children,
Y queremos que ellos tengan un corazón agradecido
and we want them to have a grateful heart,
para que cuando crezcan
so that then when they grow up,
también sean sembrados. para
they will
nosotros.
also be sowers.
Miguel Ángel, Miguel Ángel. Él es Miguel Ángel, yo soy Miguel Ángel. No me puede llamar.
Niños, atención. A lo mejor en su casa no hay un abogado, a lo mejor no hay un doctor, a lo mejor no hay una maestra, pero ¿qué creen? Ustedes son el cambio para su casa. Ustedes tienen el poder de cambiar la historia de su casa.
So we'd like to introduce you to two of the youths involved in our ministry. First, we'd like for you to meet Angela. Angela is one of our student scholars from Colonia Almar. Angela's story is truly a testament to how education, faith, and opportunity can turn pain into purpose. When Angela was a young girl, she witnessed her father being wrongfully arrested during a family dinner, an experience that left her terrified and confused. Though he was eventually freed, the trauma of seeing her family struggle financially, emotionally, and legally inspired her to pursue a career in law. Angela vowed to defend others against the same systemic injustices that her father faced. While working night shifts in a factory to help support her family, Angela has studied full-time, maintained strong grades, and is an intern at the State Attorney General's office. As a student leader for our Jóvenes de Fe program, Angela speaks to her community about the importance of education and mentors at-risk youth. This leader, Angela, this year will become the first in her family to graduate from university with a law degree. When we asked Angela about her desire to become a lawyer, in her own words, she shared, "I never want another child to watch their family suffer due to legal ignorance or abuse of power. My faith reminds me that God places us in hard situations so we can later be a light for others. Studying law is my calling to fight for fairness, especially for those who cannot afford representation." And when we asked Angela, as the leader in Jóvenes de Fe, how does mentoring youth tie into your larger mission? Angela's response, "Leading our university student group is my joy. We tutor children in our community, organize events, and ensure every scholarship recipient gives back. I track service hours, coordinate volunteers, and remind my peers education isn't just for us, rather it's a tool to lift up others. I was once the girl who needed hope. Now I get to inspire the next generation." Next up. We'd like for you to meet Victoria. She arrived at her home in 2023 at the age of 5. Victoria is a strong and resilient girl. Despite having experienced very difficult situations at a young age, she has shown remarkable strength and ability to overcome adversity. You know, all of our children have suffered abandonment and rejection, and over 80% of our children have experienced sexual or physical abuse. For Victoria, she was removed from a home with physical abuse, including the pouring of boiling water onto her body. We provide a high level of care, including medical, dental, and psychological services for our children. For Victoria, we partnered with a local surgeon to repair her burned arm and to ensure she maintains a full range of motion. Our neurologist has helped Victoria channel her anxiety and continue to heal emotionally. If you met Victoria today, she's a highly competitive, physically and mentally energetic, and a natural leader who positively influences her peers. She has a keen sense of people, a strong sense of self, asks deep questions, and shows emotional maturity beyond her years. Academically, Victoria is an intelligent and gifted student who is always one step ahead, eager to learn and grow. Victoria's dreams of becoming a doctor when she grows up. And this morning, Victoria left Niños de Fe to be reintegrated with a healthy family member this very morning. We are trusting in God's plan for Victoria to be a light in that family. And our Jóvenes de Fe scholarship program awaits Victoria when she's old enough to enroll to provide her with Christian mentoring and a university scholarship. So like Angela, Victoria can also pursue her aspirations to help others. Next slide. So let's learn to do right. Seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case of the widow. Will you partner with us? We invite you to join us to serve our neighbors just an hour south in Tijuana. On the screen are some of the opportunities and resources that would make a meaningful contribution to our ministry. We are hearing go from God, and we're setting the foundation to scale. We could use those of you with experience on growth and strategy as coaches. Perhaps some of you might be interested in sponsoring a child like Victoria. And as a first step, we encourage each of you to come join us on one of our monthly day visits and check out our newsletter and website at dcbaja.com. Next slide. In conclusion, Dream Center Baja remains committed to raise up the cornerstones that society has rejected, to answer God's call to share the gospel, to break cycles of poverty, and to make disciples that might be the salt and the light and the leaders for change in their own communities and for future generations to come. We thank God for his continued favor on his ministry. And Dennis and I and all the members of Dream Center Baja, thank you for your time and consideration this evening. God bless you.